Hi everyone. Today we will discuss the principle of maximum social advantage. The principle of maximum social advantage was introduced by British economist Hugh Dalton. He occupies an important place in the science of public finance. According to Dalton, the principle of maximum social advantage is the most fundamental principle lying at the root of public finance. Hence, the best system of public finance is that which secures the maximum social advantage from its fiscal operations. Maximum social advantage is maxim for the states. The optimum financial activities of the state should therefore be determined by the principle of maximum social advantage. According to Dalton, a best system of public finance is that which secures maximum social advantage to the public. The fiscal operations of the state should be governed by the principle of maximum social advantage. The government should raise revenue and incur expenditure in such a way that it ensures maximum social advantage for all. The government levies tax on some sections of society and it spends that revenue in providing facilities to other sections of the community. Therefore, there can be two sections of the society, one who pays tax and the other who gains from public expenditure. Public finance is an instrument which can help the government in increasing the welfare of the community so that public finance which creates maximum social advantage is good. Public revenue, tax, and public expenditure. Public finance has two sides, namely taxation, that is public revenue, and public expenditure. A tax is compulsory payment to be made by an individual to the government and for which the taxpayer does not get any direct and proportionate return. The money taken away by the government is spent by it on satisfying collective wants such as defense of the country, maintenance of law and order, economic development, and social welfare. Tax creates some disutility or dissatisfaction. This expenditure that creates some satisfaction or utility on the part of the community. Utility and disutility. Satisfaction and dissatisfaction. Utility and disutility can be compared each other. The disutility created by taxation because paying tax is painful. Taxation is created by public expenditure. Satisfaction is created by public expenditure. There should be a balance between disutility created by taxation and utility created by public expenditure. Now we will see marginal social sacrifice and marginal social benefit. Dalton explains the principle of maximum social advantage with reference to marginal social sacrifice MSS and marginal social benefits MSB. Marginal social sacrifice disutility. The marginal social sacrifice refers to that amount of social sacrifice undergone by public due to the imposition of an additional unit of tax. As a person or the community pays more and more units of money in the form of taxes, every additional rupee paid imposes more and more sacrifice on the community. When a person pays more and more tax, the marginal disutility imposed upon him is higher and higher. Marginal social benefit MSB or utility. Marginal social benefit MSB are the benefit conferred on the society by an additional unit of public expenditure. As the government spends more and more units of money, the utility derived by the community from every additional rupee spent by the government is less and less because it is subject to the principle of diminishing marginal utility. Now we can explain this theory with the help of a graph. Social advantage is maximized at a point where marginal social sacrifice cuts the marginal social benefit curve. It can be explained in the following diagram. In the y-axis, unit of money, taxes and public expenditure. In the y-axis, sacrifice or revenue is represented. MSS is upward sloping curve. MSB is downward sloping curve. MSS, marginal social sacrifice, which is the result of the payment of taxes by individual or community. MSB, marginal social benefit curve, which is the benefit derived by the community by public expenditure. Social welfare, social advantage is maximum at a point where MSS and MSB are equal, that is at point P. At point P, the marginal social sacrifice or marginal disutility is equal to the marginal social benefit MSB or utility. Therefore, at this point, the maximum social advantage is achieved. Beyond this point, the marginal disutility or social sacrifice will be higher and the marginal utility or the social benefit will be lower. Therefore, at point P, the social advantage is maximum. Maximum social advantage is achieved at a point where marginal social benefit of public expenditure and marginal social sacrifice of taxation are equal. That is, where MSB equal to MSS. Now we will see what are the limitations of the principle of maximum social advantage. The first limitation is it is difficult to measure. It is difficult to measure the marginal social sacrifice and marginal social benefit arising from taxation and public expenditure. Taxes need not create always disutility. Sometimes taxes need not create disutility. For example, tax on drugs, intoxicants, alcohol will add social welfare. Public expenditure may create burden. Sometimes public expenditure may create burden on the society instead of benefit. For example, expenditure on war, servicing of war debts, etc. Fourth limitation is no sacrifice in case of expenditure out of borrowing. If public expenditure is done from borrowed money, it involves no sacrifice. The government will repay the loan with interest. And the last but not least, surplus and deficit financing. The concept of equalization of MSS and MSB is illogical because modern governments adopted the principle of functional finance. What is functional finance? It is one where the government will spend its surplus financing during prosperity and deficit financing during the depression. So these are all the limitations of this theory. So in this module, friends, we have discussed the meaning of maximum social advantage with theory and graphical representation, and we have also discussed the limitations of this theory. Thank you.